So excited to see my next guest make his UFC debut. Finally, he's going to be taking on Karl Roberson at UFC 266 on September 25th. It is Nick Maximov back here on the program. Nick, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing awesome, but not as good as you, though. The debut is almost here. We spoke a few months back about when you actually signed with the UFC. Why did it take so long to get on this card, or was the plan always to fight with your buddy Nick Diaz?
That'd be awesome. That's kind of like a dream come true, honestly, fighting on Nick's card. I've been watching him since I was a little kid. It just kind of came, I got the call to fight in September, I think in like July 1st. Like literally they booked it that long ago. So I've just been waiting. I've been trying to get a few short notice fights, actually. Like I threw my name in the hat for a couple people, like Sam Alvey. Tried to find him and stuff a few weeks back, but this obviously is just a really good opportunity, a good opponent, and a really good card to shine on.
Yeah, it seems like the stars are aligned here. Full camp. You get to fight with Nick, like I mentioned. What was Nick's reaction when he found out that you were going to be fighting on the same card as him? Because he's kind of like a big brother to you. He must have been pretty happy to be on the same card as you, right?
Yeah, him and Nate, I think, were pretty stoked, and we've been kind of doing a little training camp together. Went out to LA for a little bit. Just been doing everything and just kind of just working and just doing everything we can. It's been pretty cool. Just seeing how both of us are progressing, and he's been helping me and teaching me a lot along the way. Not only has he been like training, but he's been like really trying to help me and coach me as well.
And I'm sure you like the style matchup when you saw this one. I know Roberson, he's got more UFC experience, he's got more overall experience than you, but look at his losses. I'm looking at it here. 13 fights, 4 of his losses are by submission. That's your bread and butter, man. You must have been pretty happy when you saw the style matchup here that you're fighting a guy who has been submitted a bunch of times.
Yeah, and he's a good grappler. From what I've seen, he's not bad. He likes to grapple. He's a good kickboxer. When I see him, I see he has 8 fights in the UFC, and I think that's really big. I don't want to be like these. I say it all the time, like the Sugar Seans and all these guys where they're fighting kind of like just cans. It's like you kind of get in the sport to be the best. That's how I look at it. A lot of these guys nowadays are just looking for some hype, clout, this and that. I more just do it just to fight, because it's like you want to be the best fighting, man that you can be. And I think fighting this guy kind of just shoots you straight up there. This guy's fought some really good dudes, and he has an impressive resume. And it's really like one of those fights where I'm confident, as can be in beating him. But it's also like he's a dangerous guy, and it's like that just makes me excited.
Yeah,
it's different. It's a different energy.
Well, and just to give some context so people don't get mad at me here, some of those losses, Glover Teixeira, who last time I checked is fighting for the light heavyweight title, Brendan Allen, who's an outstanding middleweight, I think just one loss, just Sean Strickland in his career. So yeah, exactly. And so some of the losses are against guys that are really high level as well. So wanted to throw that out there, but still, when you do see a style matchup like that, you got to be a little bit happy, because like I said, you've been on the submission underground scene, you've been on the grappling scene for forever, even before you got into MMA, right?
Yeah, and the last grappler I just went against, it won worlds at black belt like 8 times, something ridiculous. And like the whole match, it's like I controlled him. And a lot of people would think, I could do that, like beat him in the regulation time or whatnot. And it's like just people I don't think really understand my style. And it's just a really pressure heavy. And I'm training with the best pressure heavy guys in the world. Name all them. Their pressure is nonstop, especially with their boxing and whatnot. So if I can add that with my wrestling, my jiu-jitsu, the cardio, I think it's going to be a nightmare for people.
We talked about Nick and Nate. Who else are you getting to work with as far as bodies in the gym leading into this UFC debut?
I've been sparring a lot of boxing with a lot of pro boxers. When I went to LA, I sparred with quite a few good pro boxers, a couple world champs. So that was really fun. I don't remember their names because they're all like from North Africa or Russia. Even though I'm Russian, I just really don't know their names or can pronounce them at all. Yeah. I've been sparring a lot. I sparred a lot with Nick, Nate. We got a guy named Rudy I've been sparring with, Lucas, Chris Avila, Chris Fon, in the UFC. So I have a lot of good guys to train with and whatnot. Doing a lot of MMA too. We have high-level jiu-jitsu guys that are really good, like Mikey, all these guys, Randy Spence, they're all super high level. So, it's just been a great camp so far.
I got to ask, how's Nick looking in camp? Big fight with Robbie Lawler. By the way, just got to give kudos to the UFC matchmakers. That was the fight to make. I'm so glad they booked that fight. But how's Nick looking ahead of the Robbie Lawler fight?
I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. You know, if people are questioning him or whatnot, he looks really good. He feels good. He's strong. Didn't skip a beat. Not at all, in my opinion.
Do you think he's catching Robbie at a good time? Because Robbie hasn't won a fight in a while. Granted, he's fighting really good guys, but do you feel like the timing of him coming back, it's not like he's fighting a guy with a lot of momentum. He's fighting a guy in some regards who's saving his job.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. I think how Nick looks at it is like, if I were to say it, because we don't really talk about it a whole lot in the
right.
gym.
I don't imagine that's it's something that's brought up all the time, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and people probably, I think, get annoyed of it. But in my opinion, I think Nick would fight anybody at any given time. I think him fighting Robbie I think Nick's return is just going to be good against anybody no matter what.
Okay.
He could be fighting Kamaru Usman, whoever. It's like, I think people are going to be really surprised at how good he's going to look.
And just one last thing, just because I have to ask Nate, what's the latest with him? I think the Masvidal rematch makes a lot of sense, but we'll see. We haven't. I know he's talking about Luque and stuff. Any insight from the Diaz camp, or your camp, I should say?
I actually asked him last night, and I don't think there's anything on the table right now. I think because you look at the December card, Dustin's on it now. They got a couple championship fights. I'm not super sure what's happening with that, but I know he wants to fight. I mean, he's been sparring, he's been running, he's been training like he has a fight. It's cool because with our camp, everyone trains. If someone has a fight, everyone has a fight.
Yeah.
So everyone's in shape. Everyone looks good, and Nate looks really good right now.
Weight cut, how's that going? Getting down to 185.
Man, surprisingly, really good. Yesterday I was 195 after the morning session, and I was like, that's almost a little too low, right? Being 2.5 weeks out, it's like I want to be that the Monday or before, so I was drinking and eating a little bit more, but I feel great. Obviously tired, and you feel overtrained and exhausted, and you start to like not want to do it because it's just a hard camp, but everything feels really good and smooth right now. Everything's really smooth.
Does it help too that, I know conditioning's big at your camp, right? Like getting in those, those miles and all that stuff. Does that help with the weight cut you find as well? Like, because some guys are doing the sauna, the sweatsuits, but with you're doing so much cardio. I imagine that it's probably getting the pounds off a little bit easier as well.
I found every time I run, if I can run 1 mile, it usually equates to like a pound. So if I hit a good 5-mile run, and I'm filled with liquids, good foods, it's usually about 5 pounds, 6 pounds, So I do think running's a big thing, sparring rounds, all that, everything kind of helps each other out.
Great. And as far as your corner, who's going to be in the cage with you that night?
I'm not super sure yet. As of right now, I'm supposed to figure that out today. It's just Randy and probably Nate. I got to figure out the other 1 or 2 guys I get.
How's this fight playing out on September 25th?
I always think about it and whatnot. I don't try to, how would I explain it? I don't ever try to like force. If I say I'm going to knock this guy or submit him and I try to force it, I think that's the worst thing possible. I obviously see myself getting my hand raised and winning, but I don't. Every time I said I'm going to do something, it's usually the completely other way around. Whereas if I think I'm going to submit him or knock him out this way or that way, it's usually the complete opposite. So, we'll see. We'll play it by ear, but yeah, every time I made a prediction, it's been completely wrong.
Do you want to get one more fight in this year, or are you kind of waiting to see how this goes and then reassess?
Wanted to try to get in December, but I don't know if the December 11th pay-per-view is the last pay-per-view, because I know they usually do one, like the New Year's Eve.
Yeah, I don't know if they got rid of that. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure, because, it certainly opened things up a bit if they had, another one. But, I guess you just wait and see, right? So
if not, December 11th would be great. Fight, take like a week or 2 off, chill, get back on the horse like October 1st or whatever, and then get ready to fight again. I think that'd be great.
That's cool. With being with the UFC, do you still have the freedom to do your grappling and all that? I know they let a lot of UFC fighters do it, but is that something you still plan on doing, or do you want to focus more on MMA?
I think right now focus more on MMA. I did see there's like a world's for jiu-jitsu, like a really prestigious tournament coming up in like October, November that I want to do. Yeah, that's actually a really good question. I don't know if that's like prohibited or not.
There you go. Talk to our buddy Matt and see what he can do. We'll figure it out there as well. Before we go, man, I always got to ask, what's downtime looking like right now? I know you don't get much of it. You're training 24/7, but getting in any Netflix or video games, anything like that outside of training?
I'm starting to because there's a PlayStation here. I'm starting to play Apex. I just started.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I don't know really how to play. I was a big Call of Duty head when I was a kid, but I'm trying to learn how to play Apex.
There we go. Well, we'll see. Yeah, I guess once you get more into the UFC, maybe you can start doing the streaming and all that. If you get good at it, right? Obviously, you don't want to stream if you're not playing very well, right? So.
But Twitch I want to get into Twitch for sure. You can make a lot of money, get a good following, different audience base. That's what it's all about.
And really excited for your debut, man. UFC 266, September 25th. Nick, always a pleasure, man. We've been doing these for a while, so really excited to finally talk to you about a UFC fight. Anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, I'll give you the last word.
Follow me on social media. It's just Nicholas Maximov on Twitter, Instagram, all that. I just made a TikTok, so follow me on TikTok. Shout out to Claiborne. They're my sponsor. They're cannabis, Blaze. They're out in Chico, California, local brand. On Vegan Foods, they're out in Chico. They've been helping me meal prep and give me a really good fuel in my system and represent clothing brand.